Here we are. Another week
Hey-o.
of the Boulevard Cage. Does anybody feel, I don't know, reborn this week?
I couldn't do it, man. I tried. I did try.
You didn't make it through it?
No.
Oh my God! You should definitely make it through it.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's great.
That was some difficult homework you gave us.
Yeah, your demon soul just wouldn't take it, you know.
No,
An exorcism.
no. It burned.
Justy Rhodes could not be excised.
No.
Pea soup shot out of his mouth. It was rough.
Yeah, there's like a whole Justy Uncle Justy Uncle Howdy thing going on.
Oh God.
Weird.
I don't even want to know what kind of mask you'd wear.
Uncle Justy.
It better not have a ball gag. Anyway.
We're off to a great start.
Great start. What a week. There's lots of stuff going on in wrestling. Lots of stuff going on in the world. We're still here. We're still kicking.
Still alive.
Yeah, let's I don't know, look at some of the wrestling news this week.
Now Twitter's down as we're doing this, right?
Yeah, so
and there's no Squared Circle on Reddit.
No Squared Circle. So I'm on Wrestling Inc. I don't sponsor them at all.
We are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, scraping. We are the bottom of the barrel. We're beneath it at this point.
Well.
But yeah, so a lot of people thought that maybe, usually personal issues make really great feuds in wrestling. Would the CM Punk and Elite stuff spill into storylines? And the answer is, doesn't look like it. Apparently lawyers are involved for some reason. Not clear on whose side, depending on who you ask. Kind of interesting. This wouldn't happen back in the day. I don't feel like it'd be settled and people would move on and they'd probably make some money off of it.
You're exactly right. There is it's hard to tell who's to blame for it. I would guess CM Punk. In the past it was like some of the best storylines we've ever seen were based on real drama, and the fact that those guys knew what that was worth to an audience and willing to exploit that, put their differences aside for the sake of entertainment. So it's either just like these guys are being really petty, or Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels greatly downplayed how much they hated each other in real life. So it's one or the other.
And I wonder, because they had a third party investigation come in when the whole thing happened, and so immediately when that happened, and their legal counsel was in the room when it happened. I think that she was brought there by the Bucks and Omega when they were walking to the locker room from reports. So I wonder if because legal is involved in it, there's something there that's a corporate reason that they can't really be in the same room. I don't know, or if it's just somebody being stubborn.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I kind of get both perspectives. If the situation is to be believed that that it's the Bucks holding things up, I also get not wanting to work with someone like that again, or not wanting to he really put the company in peril with his little stunt, and you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if down the road we see some Punk Elite stuff that I feel like maybe they're just kind of it's too soon. We let's see if you can be a team player, or maybe that's just me being optimistic, but I could see them being come in, do your thing. Let's see if you can make it don't tell us you're sorry, show us you're sorry. And
and like we said last week, the way to do that is to come in and do the job to Goldberg.
Yes.
That's one way to do it.
Finally do the damn job.
I'll be honest, I would pop. That would be the best, most audacious booking I could think is CM Punk getting squashed by Goldberg at Wembley.
That's the only way Goldberg would get a pop from me. That's the only way he'd get a pop from me. That would be so over.
It's that would be the only thing better would be Goldberg's music hits, and then Ryback comes out.
Like a Goldberg sound-alike.
Like Tony bought the music.
Yeah.
Apparently he'll buy anything. But it does sound like, at least according to the much ballyhooed ESPN article or Sports Illustrated article that came out this week, whichever it was, with CM Punk talking about his return. He did say that he tried to contact the Bucks and Omega, and heard back from lawyers saying, "Hey, don't contact that person." So, who's to know?
And keep in mind also, it's like this best case scenario. This is all still a work, and they're gonna act like
great.
Honestly, if it is a work, it's not a good one. Like, who has come out of this looking better or looking good? Not many people.
Jericho got some power. That's about it.
Yeah,
but he's as unlikable as he's ever been.
He's pretty rotten. Onward and upward. Like I said, Tony is willing to pay some big money for music. Announced yesterday on Twitter, that's not up right now, that the theme song for Collision is Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. And they even released the video clip of what the intro looks like. I mean, great choice, but good Lord.
Yeah, I mean,
is it?
Yeah, it's a good tune.
Is it Elton John playing piano wearing like Luchasaurus outfit?
I wish it'd be a sequins.
Extra sequins. Like,
do you think this ends or not ends, but leads to an Elton John appearance on Collision
at Wembley?
At Wembley,
give it to me.
He
plays. He plays the.
Who can he play out?
Candle in a Wind or something. I don't know. He plays the Lion King song.
Whose theme could he play? Let's play hypothetical. Elton John's appearance at Wembley. He's going to play out one of the wrestlers. Who's he going to? Huh?
MJF. He's got a playable song.
Yeah.
It's like, realistically.
I was thinking also Hangman Page.
Like,
I'd be into that.
Realistically, it'll be Elton John performing with Fozzy.
Fozzy featuring Elton John. Play out Goldberg.
Oh God! If you could have him play one of his songs as an intro for a wrestler at All In Wembley, what song would you choose? And for who?
I mean, I feel like Benny and the Jets is like a really good like arena anthem-y song, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Who would you attach that to, though?
Dalton Castle.
I'd be into that.
I knew you would be.
And apparently still not signed. Get your shit together, Tony. Sign the man. It's wonderful.
I agree.
How about you, David? What would you choose?
Oh, I'd go with The Bitch Is Back.
For Jade?
For CM Punk.
Ooh.
Oh shit! You boomed me. You boomed me.
Fair. I think that would work for either. Yeah. Good Lord. All right. I guess he's all elite now, Mr. Elton John, or Sir Elton John. See how you guys feel about this controversial poll. Controversial, right? 86% of fans say Hulk Hogan doesn't need to wrestle ever again. We in agreement here that Hulk Hogan does, in fact, not need to wrestle ever again.
I mean, I've been of that opinion for 20 years. You know.
I mean,
that's fair.
I will say this: if it got booked, if he did a Ric Flair last match, and I could get a ticket to it, I'd go.
It would just be sad, like the Ric Flair thing.
Yeah, I never got to see Hogan wrestle. Wasn't like he was a really great wrestler anyway, at least in America most of the time. But I can say I did it. Might be sad.
I guess I've never seen Hogan wrestle. I've seen him on shows, but not wrestling.
Mm-hmm. First time I ever saw him like live was that SmackDown that you and Chris and I went to in DC.
Same, actually.
Came out and spoke.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. R.I.P. Hogan. Fans don't want to see you anymore. No more leg drops.
I got to see the Macho Man, so I'm happy.
That's cool.
All right. More internet drama. All the CM Punk drama this week. After his comments in Sports Illustrated this week, where CM Punk said he thought Adam Page was going to shoot on him. He kind of got popped in the mouth a little bit on some chops. He's like, "Oh, is he shooting on me?" So that's what he's saying. The reason was for them having a crap match last year. He had to like be hesitant and kind of protect himself on moves because he thought that Adam Page might shoot on him since he went off script in his promo at the previous Dynamite. And then after that happened, the Nick Jackson from the Young Bucks kind of retorted and said, not only is he good at wrestling, but he's an even better human being, Adam Hangman Page. In response to that. So I don't know. I feel like it might be a work. It's one of the, but I don't know who it's benefiting. Kind of like Justin said, it's weird.
Honestly, this entire thing has made everybody come across like a bunch of like 8-year-old girls.
Yep.
Like the responses and the little jibes and the accusations and the paranoia and just grow up. Jesus Christ.
Like,
be adults. Every one of you at this point.
It's very 90s with the dirt sheets, but not in how it's being handled. Like I feel like most of the time people like they might hold a grudge, but they would just get past it eventually, and it's just stupid at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to not hear about it anymore. Like either do something or don't do something. But honestly, I'm kind of sick of talking about it. Like I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of talking about it. Like again, if it's a work, it's not a good one because I don't like anybody more coming out of this whole drama than I did before it.
Yeah, and I mean, I was at Dynamite this week, and when they showed the CM Punk promo package, it didn't get like a real mixed response. It just wasn't too much of a response in the arena. Like there were boos and there were some chants, but it wasn't like overwhelming either way. Like I feel like a lot of people might feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see how the next couple weeks go. I think obviously the reception tonight will be great because they're at the United Center and it's his first show back and there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. But I think it'll be interesting seeing how the next month, 6 weeks goes once the novelty of him being back has worn off and they're not doing Chicago shows and seeing the kind of reactions he gets, seeing the kind of story.
His body holds up that long. I mean, historically.
Well, there's that too. So
yeah, if he doesn't do something stupid like stage dive into the crowd again and break his ankle or whatever. And other news about Collision, the announce team was shared yesterday on Twitter.
That hat. What the hell is that?
Is a Mumford and Sons cover band?
Yeah. He looks like the preacher from Poltergeist 2.
Oh my goodness. The announce team for Collision announced with real Kevin Kelly making his way back onto network television, or not network television, cable television again. Nigel McGuinness and JR. I think on paper, at least, to me, this is maybe the best announced team in wrestling right now.
It has the potential to be a really good announced team.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here too. Like Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness announced together at ROH, and Kevin Kelly and JR, I think like late WWF, late 90s WWF, and a little bit, I think, as well in New Japan a few years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm a fan of Kevin Kelly. I like his commentary a lot. Same with McGuinness. I missed pretty much all of Nigel McGuinness's in-ring career, but so I'm more familiar with him through commentary. And JR is JR. You know, he's a legend, and he'll always have a spot there. But you know, I would say I'll be interested to see how he gels with the two of them, because you know, his AEW work and his really, really late WWE work, you know, hasn't done much for me.
Yeah,
but
agree.
It's JR. So
yeah, like we were saying earlier, I think he's better when he's supplemental and he's not like leading the announce team.
Yeah,
and
when he can chime in with a folksy comment or something, you know, that's fine. But
and
don't let him carry the team too much, because I just don't know that he can do it anymore.
And you've got that with Kevin Kelly. I think he can lead the team as the kind of play-by-play guy.
For sure.
And you got Nigel McGuinness is great at color. So JR's there is hopefully to pepper it in.
And I want to say, now that we're on commentary, it's a completely off topic, but shout out to Wade Barrett, who I feel like has become not the best of all time or anything, but certainly a very good commentator. I wasn't totally sold on him in NXT at first, but you know, I was a little disappointed when he took McAfee's place on SmackDown, but you know, I think he's doing a good job. So shout out to Bad News.
Remember when The Rock used to bully Kevin Kelly?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that was before Coach even.
Yeah. I don't think they could. I think The Rock might get canceled for some of that. At this point,
I'm just waiting for things that he did as The Rock to start calling him out for that, like, and for him to have to address that it's a television show, like, it's getting to that point. It's like people like are loving to hate on The Rock. Not that it's not, some of it's not deserved, but some of it it's like the man's allowed to make a bad movie every once in a while. Like,
he's made plenty of them.
Yeah, he's made plenty of them, but like, you know, people, I've just seen a trend toward like everybody's like he is over, like, he's never coming back.
So friggin' weird and
like
tribalistic about comic book franchises and comic book movies, and it's. Yeah,
but it's also like
Black Adam sucked.
I think people get tired of seeing somebody cast over and over and over, and there's nothing that like people like to see that other than somebody like lifted up and then brought down. Yeah, and that's, it goes both ways.
It's like,
I mean, it is funny he had to go back to Vin Diesel though.
Like, it's like the Green Goblin said. It's like the people love to see the hero fail.
Exactly. Some more I Love Pro Wrestling group here. CM Punk paying homage to Hot Rod with this new shirt of his of Larry the Dog, famous for the brawl out, getting his teeth knocked out apparently. What do y'all think about this? Feeling it? Larry the Dog.
I do not want to have to explain the entire fucking eight chapter story of my t-shirt every time I wear it to everybody, because that's going to take some explanation.
CM Punk, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, I guess. He's been doing this his whole career, from Macho Man to Bret Hart, now to Roddy Piper. Yeah, who cares? We'll skip that. More Punk news. More Punk news. Let's just skip it. We'll go to that.
Or he said something, and then someone else said something, and
I skipped two of them, but I'm going to do this one because this is kind of more important. Warner Brothers Discovery reportedly believes that CM Punk will also appear on Dynamite, which means, I guess, it's not as hard of a roster split as they were talking about.
I just thought it was so funny when they announced the big names that were going to be appearing on Collision, and it was like the fucking Misfits Club. It was like everyone who had like a history, documented or not, of like being difficult backstage that's the Collision crew. You've got Thunder Rosa and Miro and Punk and Andrade, and it's just like everyone that has had problems with people.
And then like people that just can't get TV time, like poor Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
Who just disappeared, and he's part of that California clique, so he's good with the Bucks, but can't get TV time. TNT champ and then disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, I miss SCU, but because he hasn't really done much of note or anything that's been of interest to me outside of that.
Yeah, and I mean, Frankie Kazarian was in the news this week too.
He's gone. He's gone, right?
Yeah, he's been gone. He's in Impact, and
okay,
he was just he was doing a podcast earlier this week, just talking about how he was there at AEW before it even had initials associated with it. He was there before day one, quote unquote, and then it just became where the stuff that he thought is good TV wrestling wasn't what AEW was into producing. So he had 2 years left on his contract when he left, so he left for Impact. He's like 45 years old now. I think he just wanted to do what he wanted to do there, and didn't exactly like the product they were putting out or how they were using him, because they didn't really do too much with him.
Yeah, I thought the Elite Killer gimmick had a ton of potential, but it never went anywhere interesting, and he just always kind of ended up looking like a chump. But I thought the idea was a good one that they could have,
especially when they were heels at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, dude's realistically only probably got a couple years left, and he probably wants to go out doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, for sure. He can always come back and maybe help AEW produce the wrestling, TV wrestling that he wants to produce, and I'm sure they'd probably welcome him back. He's been in the business 20, 25 years.
For sure. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of him there.
And but apparently from here, Dave Meltzer did say that whenever Punk would appear on Dynamite, that the Bucks or the Elite would appear on Collision that week, and vice versa. So it's gonna be interesting. It's just, again, childish and just sad.
Yeah, I feel like if they do that, then it's gonna be obvious, and it's it's like it's not a brand split. It's we've got to keep our employees separated because we can't keep our shit together. Like
that's just bad management, man.
Yeah, I mean it is. I don't know what else to call it.
And it sounds like a lot of it could have been alleviated if Tony would have been a leader and got them in an office to talk face to face and hash shit out, and then gotten past it. Lots of bad communication and just not dealing with an issue.
Tony should have been a leader about 5 minutes into that press conference and shut that shit down instead of sitting there blinking like an idiot. That's when he should have been a leader, and probably a lot of this shit could have been avoided.
He got emasculated. Like, he absolutely got emasculated in front of millions of people.
It's like by CM Punk.
Yeah. By CM Punk.
By the guy whose ass he's currently kissing.
Yeah. And his whole apology in every line of that Sports Illustrated article was always like, I apologize to him, but you were dealing with a very frustrated guy. I was like, not very good at apologies, are you?
I did read that, and I felt like that the heads up that it was gonna like anger some people. I think that was a little clickbaity. Like,
it didn't. It was nothing you didn't know.
It's nothing that I've never heard a professional wrestler say before. It's like they're always going to protect themselves first, and I mean, honestly, he was. It's like I did see a lot of like him being a little more like, these are some mistakes I made, kind of things with it. So I think Punk came out looking good on that, and I don't think
that's what that article was meant to do, though.
Yeah, like sure it was, but like he didn't make anybody else look bad by that either. Like, he potentially called out some stuff, but that stuff very well may be true. Like, so it wasn't as dramatic or impactful as I don't think.
Not at all.
Unless
I agree.
Unless all these guys truly are little bitches, and They're gonna get upset about it, but we'll see.
What can you do? Let's lighten the mood here. And there's no better way to lighten the mood than just an update on Vince McMahon's mustache. I don't know. I don't even care who Rick Baseman is. Just look at that mustache. Just look at that.
Please stop making.
How do you feel about this, guys? How does it make you feel? Inside?
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No. You son of a bitch.
Look at it.
It is it's a look.
I said it before the show. He looks like a Vincent Price candle.
It's too bad they already cast Gomez in the new Addams Family. It's rough.
Unsettling.
And more Punk news, but guess what?
Oh my god.
It doesn't involve the Elite.
Oh.
It doesn't involve the Elite.
It's Colt Cabana.
No, it's
there
is rumor that for Forbidden Door that happens next Sunday, not tomorrow, but next Sunday, that they were going to have CM Punk wrestle Kenta, who famously have a little rivalry going back and forth, mostly just from their comments because Punk stole the go to sleep from him, his finishing maneuver, and Kenta's been a little salty about it. Supposedly, Punk kind of nixed that idea, wasn't very big on wrestling Kenta, and then Kenta's just been kind of trolling him all week on Twitter, saying this and that. Kind of interesting. I don't know. I'd like to see Kenta versus Punk, but again, another one of those things that not going to happen because somebody won't do business.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this last week, but I do like the idea of a finisher versus finisher match. Something you don't get to see very often. It's like we never got our DDP Randy Orton match. Like
we got Sting versus Hitman. It wasn't very good, but it wasn't
very good, and it wasn't built up like that, unfortunately. Like so yeah, it's like it's always fun. Like especially when it's intentionally taken from somebody else. Like
it does. I will tell people to get off my lawn when they call it an RKO because it's not an RKO, it's a diamond cutter.
Actually, it's an ace crusher.
No, it's a diamond cutter. Oh man. Here's a interesting piece of news. Can't imagine this is helpful. Dax Harwood, reportedly involved in AEW creative. We learned last week that Bryan Danielson's involved in creative apparently now. Another one of the boys in Tony's ear. This guy just loves pro wrestling, and he loves his family. You think Dax has got some good advice to offer here?
I mean, maybe. Like,
I love FTR, but they just his promos just kill me these days. It's just always, I love pro wrestling. I love my family. I love this business.
They have gotten a little whiny. But they put on a good show.
Great wrestlers. I just never want to hear Dax cut a promo ever again. It's the same thing week after week. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of them now. All right, some WWE news. Or not news, just a little interesting piece from everyone's favorite, Sami Zayn. Shows off the effects of Gunther's back stomp. Wife is folding his laundry. Did somebody stomp your back? Me, what? Oh, yeah. And you can clearly see Gunther's big ass foot there.
I fucking love Gunther. Fucking love him. And Sammy, too.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's him that takes it from Roman. I think he's got to be on the short list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I could see that. I think in the shorter term, it might, depending on how long they go with Roman, I could see him being the one to dethrone Rollins for the
That'd be cool.
For the new one.
He would that belt would suit him.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
very much so.
how many? It's like doesn't he hold like the record for like 5-star matches in WWE?
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe so.
like it's like I think it's like just him. Like it's him and it's him. It's like he's like it's like not only does he hold the record, he might be like the only one. Like
there hasn't been like too many 5-star matches from old Meltzer in WWE in a long time.
There's been more in the past couple years than there were like the 30 previous years.
Because he's got a boner for all those like ROH and New Japan guys that came over.
Yeah, I mean, for what that's worth. Like,
you mean AEW?
Like, yeah. Yeah. But no, yeah, he's a fantastic wrestler, and he does get a good match out of anybody. So yeah, that would be if he's next in line, like for the world title, or Universal title, or WWE title, or whatever.
Well, it looks like Roman's going to keep all three on TV.
That's so funny.
Like, why not?
Because
like
WWE makes no sense. But they make a decision and then they backtrack on it immediately.
Well, it's I think that's kind of like a Roman thing, though. It like works with his character. Like
yeah, I think for the character it does work.
I think he's gonna beat Rollins. He's just gonna have all of them.
Oh yeah, no, I was kind of surprised that they gave it to Rollins and not just like quit and give it to Roman anyway. But like they'll let him build up to it.
That'd have been the ultimate troll.
Yeah,
just to put it right on Reigns immediately.
I would respect that. I would respect the balls that it would take to do that.
It's also
just
like,
give him another one.
It's like these indie guys that you see, they go from like different promotions and collect different belts and stuff like that, and they're all working together. It's like Roman Reigns stays in one spot and the belts come to him. Like, and
I'm not going to different companies.
Yeah,
like, I'm not the belt collector. You're gonna have to bring them to me.
Yeah, but I mean, it works. It worked for what he's doing.
Pretty funny. Some other WWE news that I think would be nice. Carlito looks to be back. He's canceled several indie dates, claiming that he's signed with WWE. You excited to see Carlito back?
100%.
It was nice to see him back for the pay-per-view recently.
Yeah, he looks great. I think he could definitely still go, and yeah, I think he'd fit in great. I think I imagine we would do like a Rey Mysterio storyline, an LWO storyline. I think he'd fit in really well. I always like Carlito.
I'd be way into that, and I think he never quite reached the peak that he could have. He was really, really over.
And yeah. I mean,
it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I think he was probably his own worst enemy in his first run, and maybe with age, comes wisdom. So maybe he'll get a really great run that he kind of missed out on the first time. Who knows?
He'll get that late career William Regal run. Hopefully, being able to finish on it though.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Carlito a lot. Plus, I love that theme song.
It's an all-time great theme. Yeah,
it's really good.
It's cool.
To kind of harken back to our show last week, Hulk Hogan says pro wrestling isn't a work, despite being scripted. Here we go. He was on the Nelk Boys Full Sin podcast, whatever that is. That sounds like something right wing. Sounds like a right wing podcast. Where he said, everyone says that the business is a work. Okay, well, if I'm making twice as much money as you and you're wrestling me, is that a work? That's a effing shoot, brother. That's how I looked at it. The business was a shoot. It was the man who made the most money. When I worked for Vince and Bob Backlund was the champion, I wrestled Backlund, and Backlund always got paid more than me. This isn't a work. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It does not matter, or it does matter if you are the champion or not. Everybody goes, it's a work. Well, it's really not a work. It's money and the mileage.
That's just the most old man wrestler series of sentences.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, I guess I get what he's saying, yeah, but oh my god, I don't really give a shit about anything Hulk Hogan has to say.
It's just, oh man, more reasons why Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch penis. Terry Bollea does not.
Terry Bollea may have a vagina.
I can't confirm or deny. Well, some updated news on one of the two former WWE people currently under federal indictment. Ted DiBiase Jr.'s trial delayed. Federal government motion. He's defrauded a bunch of people through a religious organization, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quote me on that. From what I remember, looks like it's getting pushed back a little bit for him. Grifter's going to grift, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, name me one organization that doesn't take advantage of the government, and I'll show you one pro wrestler's son who hasn't been involved.
It's interesting too. The religious grift is always there's so many parallels to it. I've watched a lot of documentaries or TV documentaries recently. The Hillsong, it's like 4-part series on Hulu. If you've seen that one, and the Duggars, Happy Shiny People on Amazon. Like stories, at their core are very similar. How they pull people in and kind of gain favor and money and everything else.
Oh, sure. No, I mean, like, it's a fascinating world. I haven't seen any of those, but I have watched similar, like that group that was in Nashville. It was supposed to be like a weight loss program, but it was like a cult basically, and he had that movie recently where Andrew Garfield played Jim Baker.
I want to watch that one.
Yeah, pretty good.
Me too.
Like he does a good job. Yeah, it's an interesting world. Like because sometimes sometimes they have sometimes they start out with good intentions. But it just kind of shows you like power and money corrupts everybody, no matter how righteous you claim to be. Like
and I think too, like some people come into it with good intentions, and what they're a part of is more nefarious than they know too. Like I think you would definitely find the Hillsong documentary interesting. Just it's more of a like that kind of youth groupy thing that we probably experienced back in the 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, I've seen the previews for it, and I do remember it. I remember when that like trend of like hip churches came up. I was like, yeah,
definitely check it out. Like the main pastor guy is like, he's pretty insufferable, but like he reminds me of something like I saw at the Well or something back in the early 2000s.
No, yeah, it makes me think of the Well.
The Christian sex symbol pastors.
Yeah.
Enough of that ugly mug off there. We'll talk more about Ted DiBiase though here in a little bit, and his Christianity. It's finally happening. But does anybody care? Jericho with his black bat named Floyd. He still doesn't think that's a bad idea. Anyway, you interested to see this? Too little, too late.
I mean, they're both veterans. I think they both know how to tell a good story. So give it the benefit of a doubt. Like, actually, like, I am interested in seeing this. Like for what it is. Like,
do you want to see a singles match, or are you okay seeing it as these tag matches they're doing with Jericho and Sammy and Darby and Sting.
Yeah, see, I
go 1-on-1.
I don't think they'll do a 1-on-1. Like that would expose both their limits at this point.
Unless they do a cinematic match.
Yeah.
I'd be into that, but you can get weird. You get
like
weird.
Yeah, if they wanted to do a cinematic match and then use that as an opportunity to bring in a bunch of old WCW guys, sort of a multiverse match.
Good excuse to use Paul White. He can beat the Giant
again.
Yeah. Oh, do you think we'll get Cyclope?
See who?
Cyclope.
God.
Remember Cyclope? Hector Garza?
Now I'm thinking about Paul White being there, but wearing a wig, so he has long hair again.
Yeah.
It'll be all frizzy like fake Kane that one time.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Half shaved.
Mm-hmm.
Looked a lot like Isaac Yankem, though. Oh, I gotta figure out. Wait, how do you guys feel about Jungle Boy? Because this, to me, this is disrespectful for the IWGP World Heavyweight Title. Sonda is going to wrestle Jungle Boy for some reason at Forbidden Door, a match that nobody asked for. Do you all care about Jungle Boy?
I mean, I'm neutral. I
think he's pretty boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's put on some good matches, but I don't dislike him, but there's a whole lot more guys I would rank ahead of him.
Yeah, I just fall asleep. It's really bad on the mic, yet they keep giving it to him. We're almost done here. Little thing, I wanted to see how you guys felt about this match this week. Real good match, but should they have done this on a Dynamite? They had a title eliminator match between Adam Cole and MJF. Why Adam Cole's getting a world title shot after he lost to Adam Page twice for the title. Was out for, I don't know, more than about a year, and then beat only Jericho. And it's getting put in line for a world title shot, but they had an eliminator match.
I didn't understand what was happening, Dynamite. To be honest. I really didn't. I was like, this is not a title match.
It was a match to get a match for the championship.
That's terrible.
And it went to a draw, which
I liked the ending. It was a creative
obvious.
Ending. But yeah, I mean, the match was good. I mean, MJF never wrestles on Dynamite, so
yeah, just weird to have a match before the match. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of something like WWE started doing once upon a time. You never had for the first time ever, because they've already blown it on some random Raw match. Nothing special anymore in that way.
It's nothing that boxing doesn't do. It's not out of the question for somebody to get a match with a champ, and if they win, then they can get a title shot. Or
that's true.
You get bumped up in the rankings, to a contendership at that point. But as far as pro wrestling goes, where you don't have to have those rules, it can seem a little arbitrary.
Yeah, it was strange. Great match, though. Great way to start Dynamite off.
Yeah. Which that kind of got me thinking of. I did catch up on Dark Side of the Ring, and watching the Magnum TA episode, and him talking about his best of 7 with Ivan Koloff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Both those guys just talking about that, living in that moment again. That was actually a pretty nice episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
And how, it was, especially after the next one following with Eddie Graham. It was nice, and hearing how early Koloff was into his career that they had that too. He wasn't in the business that long when they wrestled for the first time, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Kind of wild.
But yeah, no, that was a nice moment, in a very dark TV show. where this bad thing happened to me, but it's because I made a mistake and I was reckless, but it didn't. My life went on. Like
he had success in other areas.
He did, yeah.
But the Eddie Graham one was whew.
I haven't watched that one yet. I guess I've watched the first two, like the Sonny Chris Candido and then Magnum TA.
Yeah, like it's the Eddie Graham one's a downer. It's a
Yeah.
huge downer. Yeah.
Some are.
Be careful before you watch that one. Make sure you're in a good place.
All right.
Some good news for AEW. Jimmy Jacobs, who became famous for when the Elite, quote unquote, invaded WWE a few years ago. He was a ROH creative guy. Yeah, awful picture. And he took pictures with the Elite outside of the WWE thing when he was actually working in WWE creative. He's most notably known for putting together the Kevin Owens and Jericho friendship kind of together thing that happened back in 2017. But after he took a picture with the Elite outside the arena of the WWE show where he was working, he was fired. But now he's coming to AEW. Good news for them with creative, because it feels like Tony's a little he's not very good at it. And with continuity especially, and just kind of I think fleshing out ideas. So it sounds like he's got at least a few more people in there, including some people that have done it at a high level.
Yeah, he looks like the fake Jeff Hardy that they'll inevitably use. Like
man.
He's
Jeff Hardy, but Jeff is spelled GEOFF.
Oh, I hate that.
Honestly, if that's not his Twitter handle, I'd be shocked.
Oh man, that should be Mark's Twitter handle. And finally, with all the news about what's going on with CM Punk and him coming back, none of the Elite have re-signed contracts. All of them reportedly end sometime this year, but not very clear because of injury time for Omega and Hangman as well, who is out for a bit. So it should be interesting. But you know what's more interesting? Sting and his journey as a man. His journey both here in this realm and spiritually.
Oh boy.
I'm talking about Sting, the moment of truth. How did y'all feel about watching this?
I didn't get through it.
You didn't get through it? Where did you stop at?
It was early on. I ended up watching some YouTube videos about it and some clips. So I think I got the gist. There's a lot of stock footage from what I could tell. A lot of
which I was surprised that they got all the WCW stock footage. And for those people that don't know, this is a 2004 movie chronicling Sting's life in wrestling and his eventual coming to Jesus moment, quite literally, as he became a born-again Christian, thanks to Ted DiBiase.
This is very loosely a movie. It's more of like a series of skits.
Yeah.
Intermingled with stock footage and wrestling matches.
It opens with like what looks like a painting of Sting's face and then the snow globe. And this like kid looking at it. And then for some reason there's some kids just watching, I don't know if it's called this anymore, so don't cancel me, midget wrestling. And then it goes into Sting in the backstage area and this nervous Gomer Pyle reporter tumbling in and trying to interview Sting and dropping his pencil. And then as he's down on his hands and knees between Sting's legs for too long. You see Sting hand the man a pen because Sting had a pen, and he just doesn't pick up his pencil instead, which is weird. And then the opening piece, they announce him as the WCW champion, but then they're showing clips of him wrestling Double J in TNA.
Yeah, there were several TNA guys that popped up in this.
Several TNA guys. Real interesting though. The production quality is.
There's production quality.
It's rough. It's a afternoon TV special. Rough.
Yeah.
Did you make it all the way through, David?
No. Like
this is bad. It's bad.
I watched it when you brought that copy of it over on DVD.
A long time ago.
You said 2004, so this may have been 2005 or 6. And that's when I saw it.
I got it for free from Dad's CDs. They just gave it to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I miss Dad's.
They had a habit of not paying for wrestling related. Like you couldn't sell your WWF soundtracks. Like they wouldn't buy them.
They probably had a lot of them. I bet.
I'm going to try to share this because here's one of my favorite lines from this whole thing. I just want you to hear it. Hopefully you can hear it.
Too much lint on one side, it throws my balance off. Huh.
Hang on.
Went into the ring.
Actually, there it is.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And yeah, this question though. Yeah, it's real interesting. Look at this gummer pile.
Oh, the banner. And thank you for taking the interview. It won't take long. Just a couple of questions. Oh, I was in the tunnel when you were coming into the ring, and I saw that you got something out of your coat pocket, and you looked at it. It's almost like you were praying. What was that you got out of your lint? It was lint. Too much lint on one side, it throws my balance off inside the ring. Huh.
Yeah, it's like
you expected me to watch this entire thing.
I'm just trying to save your soul with Sting, Justin.
Like it is like Judgment House quality acting. Like
yeah, this was done like one take.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this actor, where they got him at, he doesn't have a very long IMDb page. I did check. There's a lot of interesting folks in this movie, including Lance Hoyt. You know him from his days in AEW and New Japan Wrestling, former IWGP US champion. Lance Archer is in this movie, and it's bad. Abyss is also in it.
Yep, I saw that.
If we go on from here, Sting was never really into wrestling. I guess that's why they showed the midget wrestling at the beginning, because that's what he was into. That's the only experience with wrestling he had. He really wanted to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger from seeing these pictures of bodybuilders in the back of his grandpa's, I think it was grandpa, not his dad's, comic books. So he ended up moving all the way out to California to be a bodybuilder. Eventually, he got talked into going to wrestling school. And one of my favorite lines from this, I wish I'd marked the time for it because I'd show it to you, but it is, you got to make them believe or you are doomed to land to the land of the pancake slug.
What does that mean?
The man just did like a body splash on the guy in the ring and just like pancaked it basically. He's like, That's a pancake slug. It sounds like a weird sex move.
It sounds like a try it once sex move.
Try it once. We don't talk about pancake slug.
First rule of pancake slug: don't talk about it. Move on to it, and Sting's living a hard life on the road with old Jim Hellwig, making $50 on shots driving around the U.S. with the Ultimate Warrior. Has to be fun.
This movie is more montage than Rocky IV. Like, I'd never seen a movie that consisted more of montage than Rocky IV until the little bit of this movie I watched.
I really need you to get saved here and watch this, all right? Anyway,
I don't wanna.
He did reveal that him and the Ultimate Warrior drank an interesting concoction of juices and tuna blended together.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sting has like brought that up several times. When he talks about Warrior, it's just like, no, you don't have to do that. Like, it's not necessary. Just eat it. Like, it's the same thing.
Drink juice, eat tuna.
Yeah.
Separately.
I mean, they just need it in there as quick as possible, you know?
I guess so.
But yeah, during this, they were showing them driving through the South, and he said, talking about how jarring it was to move out from beautiful sunny California to the South, and then there's a Confederate flag shown flowing in the video. Real.
Yeah, it sucks here. Yeah, what can you say?
Yeah. And then he got married to a girl named Sue, not a boy, but a girl named Sue, and it was hard. And he said he, quote, moved to a place stranger than Nashville, Alexandria, Louisiana. I don't know what that means. Was Nashville that strange back in the day? Is there something I'm missing?
Yeah, I feel like Nashville was kind of known for being an odd place, like, because it was like I don't know what you call it. I mean, like the whole like Music Row aspect and the hits that were coming out of Nashville, and then you're surrounded by the rest of Tennessee.
And it's interesting. I guess Sting didn't love Nashville. So at this point, he's struggling, trying to make money. Eventually, him and the Warrior break up, and they go their own separate ways. He becomes the Ultimate Warrior, and he's married. His wife has a breakdown. Is sad that they're not having any money. Just, really showing her white privilege. And he gets back from a very long trip with her, and he breaks down and starts praying for some reason. He had never turned to God, and his prayers were answered. By whom were his prayers answered? Well,
he has a sense of humor. I never thought I would say that God used hamburgers to keep us out of the poorhouse, but he did. Borden wanted me to appear at one of their grand openings of their fast food restaurants.
So hamburgers
their grand openings and
for God's answered prayer. Sting
radio, TV,
from Hardee's.
and newspapers.
I do miss Hardee's.
Are very good.
No idea how God would get it done.
Yep. God bless Hardee's. If it wasn't for them, the Stinger might have quit, and we would have never gotten this awesome clip and all the great memories. Suddenly, from Hardee's, we go straight to the Great American Bash 1990. Stingers winning the World Championship from the poorhouse to the championship. This guy dressed as Sting.
Boy, he
looks like Dolph Ziggler's brother.
Yeah.
It's bad. So I don't know how they skipped all the way to the Great American Bash 1990. Next thing you know, old Stinger's walking through the lobby of a hotel, and this gentleman yells at him. He says, "Hey, we got a mutual friend, Ted DiBiase." And then they asked the Stinger they can pray for him. So they formed a prayer circle right there in the lobby and started praying. And
At what point does RoboCop enter this story? Because it's kind of losing me at this point.
When we get into the propaganda part.
Okay.
It's like RoboCop is very much a parable for Jesus.
He did come back from the dead.
He's like, I was going to say, he's like Lazarus.
He died for our sins.
He's like Robot Lazarus.
Yeah.
We need to write that, I think.
In the book of Sting.
If Crack Coon can get made, Robot Lazarus shall be made as well.
They did make it in the 80s.
Did they? Robot Lazarus?
Yeah, it's called RoboCop.
It's called RoboCop.
Oh no! I mean, I want to literally make Robot Lazarus.
Yeah,
I'll get on it.
All right, and Sting in this prayer circle with somebody that's friends with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, who's it seems right, rich white guy using religion. Anyway, he's all he's thinking is, what is Ric Flair or the Four Horsemen going to think if they walk by and see me here in this prayer circle? He was ashamed, guys. He was ashamed. And then we go into a random match of wrestling with Abyss from TNA. Totally not chronological at all. Don't know why.
This is
it's
the
him,
whole thing's a muddled mess. like
it's him.
As a movie, it's damn near unwatchable. I'm sorry, David. I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh no. I mean, I was trying to justify it. Like,
how are you justifying it?
It's representative of his prayer, like him overcoming his darkness and washing away his asking for forgiveness and strength.
Overcoming the abyss.
The abyss, like
oh shit,
yeah, the literal abyss, yeah,
the literal abyss.
Now
maybe this movie's good. I don't know.
Yeah,
it
makes you think. It's like, and I'm basing all this on Eddie's description. If like, I'm just having a guess. Like,
you guys need to watch this anyway. See, I wish Chris was here. He could provide analysis as a Tri-Cities Christian School graduate.
Yeah, see, I didn't really do all that stuff. So
yeah,
my parents weren't like that with religion either, thankfully.
I grew up Southern Baptist, so we took everything literally.
Like we went to
literally
we went to
the wrestler Abyss is in the Bible.
That would be cool.
Like,
who would you have Abyss play in the Bible? What character?
Abyss.
Who would Sting play? And who would Sting play?
Sting would be like John the Baptist.
Yeah. Like
all right.
But he'd have to be Joker Sting.
Yes.
Well,
there could be different Stings playing different characters.
He plays all of the disciples. Like
it's like the Nutty Professor. It's like Eddie Murphy and the Nutty Professor.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, it's if you get Mick Foley involved, like, you probably could cover the entire cast of the Bible. Like,
yeah. So everyone in the Bible either looks like Sting or Mick Foley. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like you're Jesus walking through the desert is just Cactus Jack talking to Dude Love. Like,
the Technicolor Dreamcoat right there.
I think Mick Foley could pull off Moses.
Oh yeah,
you know, pretty good.
That's what I want. I want the entire Bible acted out in videos, just by Sting and Mick Foley.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run this
with the occasional wrestling cameo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, David versus Goliath is a straight up wrestling match.
Sure, yeah.
Jesus' crucifixion wrestling match. It's like
when Shawn Michaels.
The resurrection is the biggest swerve.
That's like kick out at
You kick out at 2 3/4.
He's like, I didn't rise after 3 days. I rise after 3.75 seconds or 2.75 seconds. Like,
the only man to come back from a 3 count.
Book of Revelation is just World War III, like War Games, something like
3 rings, 60 combatants,
heaven, hell, and purgatory. Each ring. Oh god.
Yeah,
I can't wait till God reprises his role from the Shawn Michaels God match.
Oh yeah. I would like to see God's return to the ring.
At least
he needs
before,
to add that to his IMDb page
before his like Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, he needs to have one big last retirement match before they induct him into the Hall of Fame.
They'll have Donald Trump do his induction speech. The beautiful Bible.
Like in retrospect, Shawn Michaels should have had God do his induction speech. Like
yeah,
just like the spotlight just shines on the podium for 15 minutes.
David, he did have the King of Kings do his induction speech.
Like he did, he did. Actually.
So, from a certain point of view,
you always forget that Triple H went by the King of Kings for a period of time.
Yeah, I mean, and he was unburiable.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn.
Dang, let's get Triple H in this movie. Like,
shit,
you think Triple H will do it?
Yeah, it's like
Triple H is Jesus.
No, like Triple H, you're in this movie, but you have to play your character from Blade 3. Like,
well, there's definitely going to be vampires.
Yeah. Like, there's a version of the Bible with vampires in it. Like,
yeah, they're in my Bible.
the Bible that Bram Stoker wrote. Like,
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Move past it, Eddie.
Bible of Bela Lugosi. Oh man, I don't know where this podcast is going. So anyway,
straight to hell.
So we go from prayer circle to random match with Abyss that we Kyle theorized that is him, wrestling with his own Abyss, and spiraling to the Sting looking looking into a mirror in a hotel room, taking some pills and having a brewski. He is.
You could tell that they didn't have permits to film this movie anywhere.
Probably. And he's like, I have the whole world at my feet. I got a bunch of money, and I'm wrestling in a big house, but I'm miserable.
Does this movie is not aware that the most exciting thing in the world is not a scene that's just one side of a phone conversation? Like, they keep doing it from what I saw. Like, it's just like, I love watching one person talk on the phone where I can't hear what the other person's even saying.
Well, I mean, it is Sting talking to the reporter.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like in the hotel room on the phone, and at the beginning in like the phone booth. There's a lot of just one-sided phone conversations.
He has a very, very charged one with Sue later on.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Very charged one. But yeah, he's taking pills, and then suddenly he's outside a hotel after a big show when he wrestled as the champion against Scott Hall and beat him. He's waiting for his limo, and this random man shows up on a Harley. They start talking. And he's like, if you stick around a little bit longer, you can go in for service. He's like, my daddy was a pastor. And they start talking about motorcycles, and then the man drives off.
And then they were like, when there was only one motorcycle track in the sand, that was when I was carrying you.
That's when you were riding, bitch.
That's when you were riding, bitch, with the Lord.
Oh, man. Sidecars are for bitch. Anyway, then a limo showed up, a bunch of wrestlers in it, getting trashed. He drives off and he goes in his hotel room and he gets drunk. And then Sue calls again and she questions whether there's somebody there with him or if he's there alone. Yeah. Keeps going. Talks about how it was an era of fans getting more and more bloodthirsty in the ring to get a reaction. Sting didn't seem to like it too much. Eventually, we get into a bit about Sting. The first time he's going to come down on a wire into the ring for a spot. And the guy that's up there is just talking about how he's the best at it, that he's rigged for all these Hollywood superstars and big shots just like him. And he's speaking in this real bad, like, folksy accent. And he's like, I learned to do this in Nam. So, he used to do it out of helicopters in Nam.
When were you zip lining down from the rafters in Nam?
I guess when Nam was happening. Anyway, yeah. At one point, like, Sting's super, super nervous. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to get out of there. Let me see if I can find the point here. You gotta see this. He gets a little too nervous, guys. Since you guys didn't watch it.
Famous.
It's gonna make him famous.
No, I'm not doing it. How do I get down? Excuse me.
Here's the way.
Huh?
Here's the way right here.
Okay, so I did it. And yes, I was scared, but you know what? That one stunt.
Let's see if I can find the even earlier. Hang on.
These ropes are your wings. All right? I'm promising you, it's going to make you famous.
No, I'm not doing it.
And at one point, he gets so nervous that he accidentally drops his water bottle, and it falls all the way to the floor, splattering. And that's kind of what spooked him here. So I guess if we're gonna look at this is this his lifeline to the Lord, or is this the temptation? Here, it'll make you famous. What do you think we're looking at here?
Yeah, it's representative of his descent into sin, I guess.
Is pro wrestling sin? Is that what it is?
I think maybe that's something that they're trying to say here. That's something you could say in a movie like this.
It's interesting. And then we go to a little bit further, and we get a really great one-sided phone conversation. Basically, as Justin said, of Sting talking to the man in the mirror.
Madness.
The soundtrack's lit, by the way.
How are you gonna do that? How are you gonna stop the madness? I'm gonna put my gear on.
Put my gear on, do Sting things.
I'm gonna rappel out of the ceilings. Then I'm gonna make everybody scream. It's not working. Work.
My wicked ways. Save me from my wicked ways. Sting is begging to be saved by the Lord here. Pretty good acting, right?
Sure. Uh-huh.
What do you? How are you feeling about this? Do you feel closer and closer to being saved? Is this bringing you closer to the Lord?
It does make me want to die. So, in that sense, yes.
It's like, I am ready to be judged at this point. Like,
I'm kind of just done.
Yeah.
So Sting, surprisingly, was not saved from his wicked ways. He ends up getting called by the boys, and he's already popped a beer back at his hotel. He's like, yeah, I told you guys I'd be down. And he had thrown a letter that was stuck in his bag onto his bag earlier. He picks it back up and opens it, and it's a letter from Sue talking about how they've grown. They've got the whole world. They've got 2 kids, got a beautiful house, home. They've got all the world can offer, but they keep growing further and further apart. They keep having the same conversation over and over, but nothing really changes. She's got to, he's got to be upfront and honest with her. He's got to come clean about his, as they're listed in the IMDb page, the women of the night, or girls of the night, that Sting has been with. And he's got to come clean with her so that they can, either be together or be apart. So this pushes the Sting. He ends up going after the mirror scene to Promise Keepers with his brother Jeff. And for a while, things change. Jeff
Hardy, spelled with a G?
No, I'm guessing Jeff Borden, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably.
And that all leads to one of the more interesting moments here of the Stinger's, I guess, savior, where he is. I'll just show it to you guys. You're just gonna have to see it for yourself. The CG is really good, though. My favorite parts of this are when Sting actually starts playing himself. Like, some of these clips are almost like the Dark Side of the Ring stuff, but they don't blur it enough. You know what I mean? Because the production for that stuff is not great or anything.
But they know what they're doing, at least.
Yeah, it's obscured enough to not look like this.
Like this.
Look at him, temptation all around.
This is deep, man.
Yeah. Look at all this temptation, guys.
This is like the what is it, Judgment House or whatever that the churches do at Halloween. That's what this.
That's exactly what this is.
This is basically a movie version of that.
Look at him. He's having to crawl his way out of the sin, out of the temptation,
and up into the rafters.
Makes me wonder if this was packaged to sell a Judgment House. He's like, if your actors can put on face paint so they all look the same, so you guys can go to different rooms, and it's we've got this video of me descending into hell that you guys can play.
Check out this sweet video. Me descending into hell.
I want the same director of this to do the cinematic match between Sting and Jericho.
Now, what if the cinematic match between Sting and Jericho ends with just Jericho getting saved
on his hands and knees in front of him?
Yeah. Jericho's new shirt is a parody of the Calvin and Hobbes shirt of Calvin just praying
I'd buy it. This goes on for quite a while.
This is still going, huh?
There's
levels to it.
Oh,
whoa!
Boy.
Now this kind of looks like one of those late '90s music videos right here, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It says exit only. Why won't it let him out? What is he trying to say there? Is he getting? Did somebody slip him a roofie? These are the tools I have to work with here. The nerves went completely severed. Sting still hasn't found out where he's at. If you haven't noticed,
Mm.
they're really cranking on him. I'm glad they're using PPE. You know,
Isn't this how Jacob's Ladder ended?
is that the Kane movie? Right?
No.
No.
That was oh shit.
This is like the the scene in the dream where he has the doctors in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and it's like the clowns in the doctor masks.
This is like a rave scene.
It's like a lot of things.
It is many things.
You see, I'm telling you guys, you missed out. Like, you missed out on this.
Look, I feel like this would be best watching in a group. Sitting down and watching this by myself at home was grueling. Like, I feel like if you and I sat down, or the three of us sat down with a couple beers and some smoky smoke and watched this, then I'd really enjoy it.
Yeah, we could make it through it.
Maybe while you're in town, Eddie, I'll watch. We should get a night and watch it at one of our houses.
I can do that. I can bring the DVD
Because good. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't
you know. Anyway, he comes to his knees. He comes to God right here in this moment after he had this horrible nightmare. The Stinger's head is a dangerous place, guys.
Oh, God.
That's a shame.
Please, Jesus, help me. If you're there, I'm telling you.
And this is a man that has had acted in movies before. I'm not saying any of them were good.
I can't do this anymore.
I mean, by movies, you mean like Thunder in Paradise 3?
I was gonna say, are you besmirching Thunder in Paradise?
It's a bad movie. It's a bad show too.
And I'm asking, please, could you just?
I'm glad he had a soul patch when he was doing this too.
I give my life to you, Jesus.
I mean, I think the soul patch is still around, is it not?
Yeah, and it like he paints around it.
He paints around. Yeah,
it's part of the paint.
It was a choice. That soul patch is a choice, and it's not a good one.
Yeah. The soul patch became the indicative of the born again Christian of that time period. It's like they all went soul patch, like
that, and with a hemp necklace, you know.
That's the source of their Holy Spirit. It's their soul patch.
This is my Jesus fish.
I got a Jesus fish right here for you.
Oh man. So as you can see,
it keeps going and going and going.
It just keeps going.
It was a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
This movie's a lot. I think we definitely need to sit down and watch it. Mostly because I'm really worried about Justin's soul. I've been praying for him. Really, you know, I got that. Really, just felt that weight on my heart, Justin. Been feeling it this week.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I've been feeling heavy for your soul.
I think my soul's okay.
Oh, God.
But I appreciate your concern.
So, I believe this movie was part of a Lifehouse thing, or not Lifehouse, the Lifeway Christian bookstore. They sold it there.
Lifehouse?
Mm-hmm.
That too. Also a pretty Christian.
Were they?
I'm pretty sure they sold Lifehouse stuff in the Christian store. You had some of those that broke.
Lifehouse
through,
and
like
Lightweight. Yeah.
MXPX.
MXPX.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that the shopping center where Best Buy and Old Navy and all that stuff is. There used to be a Christian bookstore there.
Is it not there anymore?
Baptist bookstore, then Lifeway.
Yeah, it's been gone for a while, but I did see a sign there the other day. There's a new Christian bookstore coming.
Oh, back from the dead.
And like yeah, and I appreciate that because I like to make a joke about Christian bookstores having sales. I tell the same joke to Amanda over and over again every opportunity I get, and it's just John 3:16. Try John 199.
I bet Amanda hates that joke.
Oh, she hates it. She hates it. Like,
good one, Weatherman.
Maybe next week somebody else can choose the topic because I've chosen the last few. I don't know if you've enjoyed them. I don't know if they've been torturous. It sounds like the Stinger Christian film here was a little torturous for old Justy.
Well, it is what it is. It's something definitely wild and worth talking about.
Was this more like it's funny because we've done one about the Ultimate Warrior. Now we've done one about Sting. So that was a good tag team. Was this more painful?
This is the Blade Runner series.
Okay, exactly. Was this more painful, or was learning about
what the is destrucity
more painful?
For me, destrucity, I at least remember because I have.
All right. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll let one of y'all pick for next week's whatever we do. We'll do something fun, something weird.
Yeah, let's keep with the face painting theme. And next week,
Brian Cage.
Oh, I was gonna say, let's all paint our faces.
Okay.
And we just do a podcast and
yeah.
I did love when Sting told the reporter, he's like, do you always keep the face paint on? He's like, if you want the stinger, you talk to the paint.
So you're saying you never take it off? That's what you're telling me.
Poor Sue.
Poor Sue.
She got
put up with a lot.
She got the stinger quite a bit, at least twice. Anyway, any final words before we close this out?
Amen.
Can I get a hallelujah, David?
Yeah, I'll say hallelujah.
All right. Well, I'm your host, Medium Daddy Cool. For your other host, Justy Rhodes, and your other host, the Weatherman, saying, remember, true redemption is when guilt leads to good. See ya.
To contact us, search for and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BlueBardCage, or send us an email at bluebardcage@gmail.com.